We are in Riga, Latvia.
Today, we're going to take you on a journey to the picturesque city of Riga, Latvia. This was one of our stops on a 2-week Baltic Scandinavia cruise, and we spent this day exploring the port city on our own. No excursions, just diving into the city. And we're going to tell you about our experience, and we did experience quite a number of things, so we have quite a bit to share.
Riga is likely one of your stops if you're on a Baltic Sea cruise. The capital city of Latvia is located on the banks of the Daugava River. It's a charming and vibrant destination that often gets overlooked by tourists. However, if you're lucky to visit this city, you'll be in for a treat. With its rich history, stunning architecture, and lively atmosphere, Riga is a place where you can create great travel memories, as we did. Riga is a modern European city that has successfully retained some of its old world charm. Its medieval Old Town and the Art Nouveau architecture have earned it the prestigious title of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is a UNESCO site, which is a historic center of Riga, and it has been inscribed upon the World Heritage List. Inscription on the list confirms the exceptional universal value of this cultural site, which deserves protection for the benefit of all humanity. We have visited quite a few of those now.
Quite a few. I like visiting UNESCO places. So far, they've been wonderful.
Yes, absolutely. Riga is a unique blend of the old and new, and creates an atmosphere that captivates tourists from all around the globe, even from these Californians right here.
Yep.
It was very captivating. It was quite a city. I really enjoyed it. If you're visiting here as part of a cruise stop, you can find plenty to fill your day. There's lots to see and do, from history to a big food scene. It's the largest city in the Baltics with a population of about 650,000 and is a bustling hub of activity and sightseeing opportunities. Plus, the city's compact size makes it very easy to explore and navigate, even if it's a short stop for you. So let's kind of dive into it and discover what we saw on this wonderful Baltic destination.
One morning, our cruise ship docked in the port, and always enjoy when the cruise ship comes in and you get a chance to see the town from the balcony. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we're having breakfast and you see the approach. And this was, like many of the places on our trip, looked like it was going to be a great place to explore. And like most days, we were probably one of the first people off the cruise ship because we're early birds and we're ready to go. We didn't have an excursion, so we didn't have to wait around for a specific time. As soon as they said, hey, you can get off the ship, we were off and started to explore, even before many of the locals were even up and doing their thing. Being avid walkers, we decided that we were going to explore the city on foot, and were pleasantly surprised by how easily accessible everything was from the port. As soon as we stepped off the cruise ship, we were greeted by the magnificent view of the city's old town. It was lined with cobblestone streets, colorful buildings, a pretty large and lush green park area, and many cafes. All of this caught our attention.
Old Town, also known as Vecrīga or Old Riga, is the heart and soul of this city. And we wandered through this well-preserved medieval district on its cobblestone streets, coming across numerous historical landmarks and very charming, beautiful buildings. You'll find a mix of these historical buildings, and they have plenty of cafes in this Old Town area. The House of Blackheads is a striking building with an ornate facade that was once home to a guild of unmarried merchants. With so much to see in Old Town, it's a perfect place to get lost in the city's past.
And as we wandered through Old Town and the city was still waking up, we found ourselves quickly at a place called Bastejkalna Park, which is just a short walk away from the Old Town. It's a picturesque park right in the heart of the city. It spans over 10 hectares and has just beautiful green spaces, colorful flower beds. There's a winding canal that runs through the park. There's several statues and monuments, including Freedom Monument, which is one of Riga's most iconic landmarks. The Freedom Monument is a symbol of Latvia's independence and national identity. It stands 42 meters tall and features a woman holding 3 golden stars above her head, representing Latvia's 3 historical regions, Kurland, Vidzeme, and Latgali. And if you're from Latvia, you may say those places a little bit differently than I just did.
Yeah. We try our best.
This monument was erected in 1935 to honor those who fought for Latvia's freedom from foreign rule. It was considered a bold move during the Soviet occupation when many other monuments were being destroyed. This statue survived and became a source of pride and resilience for the people of Riga. Today, it's one of the most recognizable landmarks in the city and serves as a reminder of the country's struggle and triumphs. It's a popular meeting spot for locals and tourists, making it a place you go to when visiting Riga. And when we were there was lots of activity going on. There was cultural festivities and a big gathering around this particular monument. We stood around and watched people in Latvian costumes, and there was stuff going on. So
there was some kind of festival.
Yeah, neat to see. We came upon a display in the park about the ethnographic history of Latvia, spent some time reading the various information displays there. And one of the things that people like to do when they visit this park is take a boat ride in the canal. It's just a very peaceful atmosphere. We didn't go on the boat, but we watched people riding in the canal. And we were also happy to find free restrooms in the park. And all you have to do is press the button to enter.
It's not the bus, but it's the toilet.
Okay, free.
It's public and it's free. Are you going in?
No.
Yay!
Sometimes traveling around in these towns, one of the things that becomes urgent to find and you don't know where to go are the public bathrooms. When you find one,
Yay.
you do a happy dance. We're back at what seems to be an open-air market.
I think it's called the Esplanade.
In Riga, Latvia, and we're gonna check it out.
Check it out.
Later in the day, there was vendors lining the walkways in the park, and they were selling all kinds of things from jewelry, clothing, food items, and all kinds of things. And then there was this festive atmosphere during the day. It was close to this park that we came upon a large hockey net installation that commemorated the 2023 World Hockey Championship that was held in Finland and Latvia. They co-hosted that championship.
Ice Hockey World Championship, Finland versus Latvia in 2023.
Yeah? And it was at this event that Latvia claimed its first ever IIHF medal after they defeated the United States 4-3 in overtime, finishing third in the competition. Congratulations, Latvia.
All right, let's move on to the next site to see, which is the Nativity of Christ Orthodox Cathedral. It's a stunning cathedral, and it's a prime example of Russian revival architecture. The domes on top of the cathedral and the intricate interiors are breathtaking. Visitors are welcome to explore the cathedral. It was a very quiet and peaceful atmosphere. You just kind of took it all in and reflected on its beauty. However, as was the case in most Russian Orthodox churches we visited in the Baltic region, photography and video were not permitted.
On the topic of churches, we also found a Catholic church to visit when we were in Riga, and we entered Our Lady of Sorrows Catholic Church, and it had some pretty stunning Baroque architecture and intricate interior design. It's also in the heart of the Old Town. And it's a nice, serene place if you want a few moments for quiet reflection. We took a few moments there before getting back out to the hustle and the bustle in the city.
Yeah, so off we go, and we got a beautiful taste of some of the local culture. There was, as we said, a festival going on. And if you're lucky, you can experience local Latvian culture during your visit through a festival or a performance, depending on the time of year and when they do this. But we got really lucky, and we stayed for a while, and we watched the local costumes. There were children dancing the local cultural dances. It was spectacular. It was so fun. This event is called the Nationwide Latvian Song and Dance Festival, which they do each year, and it showcases the country's rich cultural heritage. This festival has been celebrated since 1873 and is one of the largest amateur choral events in the world. It brings thousands of singers, dancers, and musicians from all over Latvia to perform traditional folk song and dances. It takes place every 5 years in Riga, with smaller regional festivals held in between. So our luck was that we hit that 5-year Riga festival and had a great time. We watched various groups in colorful costumes perform traditional Latvian folk dances. It was a fantastic way to experience the local culture, adding an extra layer to the magic of our day.
One of the things you mentioned, Julie, when you gave us the introduction to Riga was its Art Nouveau architecture. And this might be one of the things that Riga is most famous for. The city boasts the world's largest collection of Art Nouveau buildings with over 800 structures in this style. It's a unique architectural style that emerged in the late 19th and early 20th century that is known for its decorative and ornate designs that often incorporate elements from nature. And as we walked through Riga streets, it felt like stepping into a different era, looking at these grand and intricate structures that were all over the, on either side of us as we were walking through the city. The buildings are stunning, and they're the kind of buildings that they just don't make them like that anymore. You look up and you see intricate designs from carved faces, there's statues in the building, fountains, all kinds of incredible detail. So again, if you're a fan of architecture, lots to see in Riga.
Water. You could drink it.
I hope it's okay.
Is that so? Oh, so it's motion activated.
Okay.
You can also take a nice stroll along the Daugava River, which is highly recommended by us. It has beautiful views. You can see Riga's skylines, down this river, around this river.
And I think this is an area that probably most people in the city, I'm gonna guess, don't take the walk over, because so much of what we did, everything is concentrated in the Old Town. Mm-hmm. And you're gonna have to invest more time and a lot more steps to cross the river to get to the other side. We were up for that challenge,
yes,
and we did that.
Yeah, it's also a nice little departure away from the hustle and bustle of the city center.
Definitely got more relaxed, more quiet. On the cruise ship, there was an individual who gave talks about the upcoming cities that we would be visiting, and we stopped into, I think, just about every one of those talks. And for the Riga discussion, he had mentioned this place called the Holy Trinity Orthodox Church. We saw photos of it. It piqued our interest, so we thought when we were in Riga that we'd go try to find it. And we learned that we had to cross over the river to get to this, and it turned out to be a bit of a Where's Waldo to find this, because I think as we were crossing over, we could see the spires, But as we got closer, the spires became hidden, and so we were going down this street and that street to finally find it, and we finally stumbled across it. It's an older church dating back to 1453 that once upon a time stood here, though the current 17th century Russian Baroque-style building was completed in 1893. It's designed in the shape of the Orthodox cross with a soaring red belfry and blue onion domes that are just stunning. And as I mentioned, you can see them from quite a distance away. We entered briefly, and again, no photos, no videos, but we did make the trek over to see Holy Trinity Orthodox Church. It is an impressive building if you're in the city.
So as we were finishing up our river walk, we crossed over the Vanšu Bridge. It's a cable-stayed bridge that spans the Daugava River in Riga. It was built in 1981 and was the first cable-stayed bridge in Latvia. It serves as an important transportation route for both cars and pedestrians, and it has become an iconic symbol of Riga's skyline, with its unique design and illuminated lights that make it a popular spot for photography, and it holds historical importance as it replaced the previous bridge that connected Old Riga to the left bank of the river, which was destroyed during World War II.
After all of that, it was back to our cruise ship, and I think during this entire cruise adventure that we had, I believe we logged in more steps in Riga than any other city we landed in. When we checked our Apple devices at the end of the day, we both had well over 20,000 steps during this day. So that's a good thing when you're on a cruise to get in lots of exercise, because you know there's lots of food, so you don't have to feel guilty when you imbibe in the food.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review, and follow us on social media for more travel inspiration and updates.